Welkom bij CEO's op koers. In deze reeks stap ik bij CEO's in de auto en op weg naar hun volgende bestemming ga ik met ze in gesprek. Over de PwC CEO Survey en over de kansen en uitdagingen die ze voor hun eigen onderneming zien. In Nieuwegein staat het hoofdkantoor van Ballast Nedam. Hier ontmoet ik CEO Kemal Sağlam. Welcome, Kemal.
Thank you.
And where are we heading to?
Let us try to Cartesius project in Utrecht, which we are building right now.
Yeah, the Cartesius?
Yes, Cartesius, and it's around 2,800 homes, Central Park, urban living environment, which will change.
But it's in the early stage?
In the early stage, yes.
Do you get out of the office a lot? Do you visit construction sites regularly?
Yes, as much as I can. Of course,
But you don't carry your hard hats with you all the time?
Always, in the car. There's a full
Okay.
set ready for me because I really like to see, what are the...
It's the core of your business.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And also I want to help our people on the construction sites because if you only talk on the paper, they cannot relate to you. So I want to be there and discuss with them all type of topics, good or bad.
Mm-hmm. But it's not part of your daily routine to...
Every week I will definitely be one of the construction sites and have a chat with our people.
Okay. And you are a Turkish national.
Yes.
What brought you to Nieuwegein, of all places, to Ballast Nedam?
I think you can call it Call of Duty, and in I think 2019 I was working in Turkey for our hospital projects, PPP projects, and one day my boss asked me to support our European operations. And before I know, I was in the first plane to Germany. I started in Germany first. And we have a company in Germany. And then after a while, I came to Netherlands.
Okay, and that's for Renaissance, which is the holding company of Ballast Nedam.
Yes, so it was not planned previously. It was just to start and support the team. And then I really enjoyed working in this environment and stayed.
And what's it like for you to work for a Dutch company? If you compare it to your previous
yeah, of course, totally. I only thing I can say is it's very standard, but culture. Culture is really different, and it take me for a while to adapt. But after a while, I think I had a good relation with our colleagues and get used to it. Mm-hmm. But it was the whole dynamics. Let's say for construction, it's not only by yourself. You are relying all your supply network, upstream and downstream, all the relations in the market. So when these things change, all your dynamics as a constructor change. Mm-hmm. So building an apartment in different countries have total different experiences. So that's, I think, one of the things that I realized also in Netherlands. Adapt the culture and the market environment in Netherlands.
Yeah. But do you have an example of what was most difficult for you to get used to in the Netherlands?
Yes, I think one thing is the decision-making structure. So in other parts, maybe we are more hierarchically working.
Like in Germany?
In Germany, in Turkey also. So it's,
boss is the boss.
Yeah, boss is the boss. Of course, you decide. You discuss things, and everybody listens to each other. But then there is a very clean decision-making and goes. So in Netherlands, you spend much more time and effort to come to a mutual understanding of topics. Otherwise, things doesn't move ahead as planned. So that's one of the biggest struggles I have in the beginning. But once you get used to that and you plan ahead, it works.
So it also has a positive side.
Yes, definitely. Because once everybody discuss topics deliberately, then they take ownership. And then you can also move much faster. There are ups and downs, let me say like that, but it was a struggle to understand these dynamics when I first come here.
So you have been a CEO now for 4 years at Ballast Nedam, and you got used to it. And the other way around, do you think Ballast Nedam got used to Kemal?
I hope so. I do my best to make that happen. It takes energy, but I think we are much in a better alignment, let me say, alignment within the company if you compare 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay. And having been a CEO for 4 years now, how do you look back at those 4 years? Because it's a very dynamic world.
Yes,
turbulent.
Turbulent, and if I just maybe separate into external and internal. Externally, that's not the best 4 years you can select to become, CEO of a company, because we start with COVID, of course, Corona crisis, then war in Ukraine, energy prices, material prices, and everything makes our lives very difficult. In the beginning, in 2019, still the market was booming. But then suddenly it became very unpredictable. It
was a perfect storm.
Yes, a perfect storm. When these things happen, also our colleagues within the company was not used to that. I was talking with our Dutch colleagues, and they were always having a long-term view in life. And this short-term crisis, and maybe that's our chance to support them, because where I lived before, all Russia, Turkey, all other places as well, we had more dynamic environments, and then I can support them. Look, this is how we should work together and react. So I think in the last 4 years, our colleagues also need to adapt to a different world now. Much more short-term problems with a long-term view, of course. This is the external part of the things that...
But it really shook things up.
Yeah, definitely. And now maybe some topics that we never discussed 4 years ago now are primary topics in any discussion. So, and internally, we put a lot of effort to create that family environment within the company, connection with the people, alignment of our vision together. I think that was also within these 4 years this happened, and tough times binds you much stronger, and I think that also happened in the last 4 years.
So, and if you try to look forward to the coming 4 years, do you expect things to settle down, or will you live at a higher level of turbulence?
I think this
won't go away.
I definitely believe it will not go away. Issue is we should always have a long-term view, definitely, but short-term actions may define if you survive or not. So you cannot just look to long-term. You have to act in short-term discussions, and all these geopolitical issues moving around the world, they have a direct effect in our market. It's not like you cannot find things or supply is collapsing, but it's becoming unpredictable. And construction sector, as you know, is working with 3 to 5% margin. So at the end of the day, it's a very low margin business. You have to be always sharp, and any small deviances has a negative effect in the results.
You're very vulnerable to small changes in supply chain.
Yes, definitely.
That's tough.
That's tough. That's what we are trying to, of course, manage. That's our job. I see our job like really like an insurance company to manage risk in a balanced portfolio. So we also changed in the last 4 years our project portfolio. It was more unique projects, which can be really risky if it goes bad. So what we have done is we increased our repeatable projects, where we use our products and market mixes, so they are much more repeatable. We are much more in control, and lower the number of unique projects to create a much more risk balance. And that is always our job daily, to keep that balance in the company.
Yes, and on the level of the holding, of course, you try to spread risks as well by having several countries in which you are operating.
Yeah, both several companies, and also when even we only look to Netherlands, we have more than 20 business units. So we are a collection of companies. We don't act as one company. We have companies in the northern part, in the southern part, and all of them have different product mixes as well. So sometimes...
And is that a matter of spreading the risks as well?
It's creating a portfolio. Let's say we have sometimes infrastructure jobs that can also, in the crisis environment, governments can boost infrastructure, which can help the commercial developments. In the other times, commercial development can increase and it will help the infrastructure. So that balance in the Netherlands is also important. But also internationally, of course, being part of Renaissance gives us an edge in the international markets because we can use our also international workforce much more efficiently. So I think that is creates Ballast Nedam as a unique company right now because there is not too many Dutch construction companies focused internationally. They have home markets like UK or Ireland, but international-wise, Ballast is in a unique position where we are working in Sri Lanka, in Caribbean, in Africa, in all over the world with unique projects, with, of course, our support from Renaissance company.
Ballast Nedam has been around for almost 146 years. So a long heritage, one might say. What makes the company so resilient and so successful?
That's one of the questions really because in this 146 years I'm here only for 4 years. So when I first come, I asked.
You're just passing through.
Yeah, I'm passing through this timeline, and they all our colleagues always explained Ballast was always a specialized company in starting from the marine works, from this dike reinforcement projects, and they always have a special product market mix. So I think today our strategy is also fitting to this one. We don't want to be the biggest construction company in Netherlands. We want to be a specialized, profitable, healthy company with repeatable product market mixes. And also what we try to do is to become an employer of choice to attract talent and give the talent the opportunity to go international and have a lifetime experience somewhere in the world. So I think that our Renaissance strategy and mindset fits to Ballast heritage. That's why it became a winning team.
Yeah. But to attract talent is for most companies is very, very hard these days.
Definitely, but what we discussed also internally is saying there is a lack of talent in the market. I think is an excuse, is an easy way to that. In our size, I'm 100% sure Netherlands has more enough talents for Ballast. What we need to look inside and what can we change in the company to attract these talents. Of course, if you
so what's the first thing you will change in the company to attract more talent?
Yeah, a couple of initiatives. One is international projects. I think can be an interesting thing because what I see in Dutch culture is also very international. So people want to have different experiences in their lives. Second,
like yourself.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And the second thing is, of course, training programs, giving young colleagues responsibility as early as possible. Of course, with training them and preparing them ready. But it's also part of the Renaissance heritage. In Renaissance, we have always very young managers, project managers, and that's also what we want to do. Don't wait people too long. Just give them the chance to be successful.
What is your own vision that you try to bring to Ballast Nedam, and how do you implement this vision in the organization?
We try to create this vision together with the colleagues that fit both Ballast Nedam's heritage and Renaissance DNA. And I see my job as to facilitate to this vision instead of implementing it, because the common vision we have, and also very similar to Ballast Nedam heritage, is a Dutch company with a solid Dutch base, with international expertise in products and countries. That is what we want to do, and that is what we want to grow into. Of course, this requires operational excellence, So as I try to explain, because construction market is very low margin business, there is no space for making mistakes. So we put a lot of effort in operational excellence. We put a lot of effort on sustainability to make it and export this knowledge from the Netherlands to other parts of the world as well.
So there's no, being a low margin business, there's no room for radical developments in the company.
Yeah, in the company, what we have right now is we put climate change into our base, in our focus. So everything what we do, we want to be related, not only in the housing market, but also in the infrastructure market. We are focusing on water projects. We have just finished one water project in Sri Lanka, and we are trying to increase our experience in water treatment and projects. So any projects which is linked to climate resilience will become much more visible in Ballast Nedam. That is our vision. That's where we want to go. We don't, of course, while not losing our DNA. So this is, we keep our DNA in Netherlands.
You completed PwC's CEO survey. What are the main challenges for you as a CEO?
I think in the short term, the usual suspects, high cost of living, high inflation rates still affecting the housing market, the commercial market, and in the infra sector, still nitrogen regulations and the government spending.
So regulatory issues
yes,
are very...
definitely affecting both commercial and housing and infra market. And this is, of course, in the short term has effects. In the long term, as I try to explain, we are trying to reinvent ourselves. We are reinventing ourselves into a climate resilience partner to our clients. That is the long-term part.
Yeah, that's what most CEOs replied in the survey. That's reinvention of the company and always transforming has become the new normal for companies.
New normal. I think construction sector is a little bit lucky on that part because the change in construction, in all the studies you can see, is the lowest when you look at other, sectors. So it's not easy to change construction. As you know, a lot of people are spending a lot of money in prefabrication, house factories, and still it is not easy to change the construction sector. And we are investing a lot in modular construction. We have a factory, Ursem factory, and with that we had the opportunity to create modular projects with less carbon footprint, with biodiversity materials and more sustainable solutions faster. So we have also focus in different products, but it takes time. That's what I see.
And we also ask CEOs in the survey about business climate and reasons to stay in the Netherlands as a company. For instance, does Ballast Nedam have international ambitions in that respect, or will they always stick to the Netherlands as their base country?
Yes, we don't have any discussions about relocating Ballast, but what we are doing is we are increasing our international footprint to balance the different macroeconomic conditions in the world. Meanwhile, what I see is for the business climate, I think Europe and US has a divergence, and for the last 15 years, Europe as a whole lost a lot of ground to US, and in general, that creates, I think, for Europe, a lot of companies are moving to US and giving the priority to US. In that respect, I still believe Netherlands is the best country to be in Europe. But in general, there needs to be done some structural changes in Europe to catch up with the competition.
And in what respect will those changes have to take place?
There are a lot of patent applications in Europe, but the ideas cannot convert into businesses. The scale up of the ideas is difficult. This because of funding This is because of creating new companies, permits, all of bureaucracy. These things are putting a brake on the ideas, and all the good ideas in Europe is fleeing to US to find and to move faster. That is that
and
creates
for funding.
For funding, yes.
Yeah.
I think if governments can make some structural change for that only, immediately there's more than enough ideas to gain traction again.
Yeah, good point, I think, because according to the survey, CEOs expect technological changes and regulatory changes to have a major impact on the way companies can perform their business.
Definitely. So technological-wise, we are adapting as much as mature technologies in construction. As I told, the technological change also in construction is slow, not easy. But with artificial intelligence, we are now in a different level, and we are now experimenting a couple of projects.
And like you talked earlier about modular building.
Yes.
And prefab building.
Prefab building. We are increasing prefab buildings. We are increasing modular buildings.
Building in wood as a material as well?
Yes. In modular part, we are also using wood materials much more, and to increase the overall...
From sustainable sources?
Yes,
I presume.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And one of the key themes from the CEO survey is reinvention. We talked about it briefly already. How does reinvention play a role in your organization?
I think 2 years ago, we created a new motto within the company. We challenged to improve. So that's our internal motto, and we always use this in our meetings. So we want to have new ideas, open to everyone.
So what's the slogan, the motto?
Challenge to improve.
Challenge to improve.
Yes. That is, and we want to every time. Okay, what can we do better? And because in our job there is no one single silver bullet. Every small increments add up to bigger changes. So what we want to do is in all of our processes. Small bit by piece increase the efficiency and productivity, which creates overall better results for everyone. So I think reinvention, sometimes we are misleading that we always want one disruptive technology. Yes, it can happen, but most of the time the changes come in increments, and that is what we want to do in every part of our business. Challenge to improve and make our business better in every level.
Because the construction business is highly complex and also very low margin, and that's not a very good combination for reinventing the company.
Definitely. Construction sector is very conservative for years, and we are using BIM, 3D technologies, everything we can use to make it more efficient. But at the end of the day, what I see our job is like a highly performance, like a football team. Like if you want to have a winning football team, what do you need? So 3 things. 1, you need good people, but not all of them can be Ronaldos. So you cannot have 11 Ronaldo playing in the side. Why? You cannot find that much of talent. Second, even you find and put on the same part, it doesn't mean that they will play nicely together. So you need the good people. That's number 1 for me. Number 2, you need a good strategy. So what is our strategy with this team to establish? And the third thing is you have very tactical training to make it successful. That's our processes. So what I want is good people with a good strategy and the tactical processes which we incrementally make it better.
Climate change is also a very important pillar in the PwC's CEO survey. We have seen the arrival of the EU directive, the CSRD, for the auditing also of companies, for instance. How do you deal at Ballast with important matters as sustainability?
Yeah, we have a sustainable director, Ms. Bramska. So with her, we already started this study 2 years ago and preparing all the steps to CSRD levels in 2025 to be ready for reporting. But on the other hand, we are using all the knowledge we have here also in the Renaissance level to share this expertise. So we are using biodiversity. We are investing heavily in new equipment, machinery with electrical, so to lower our carbon footprint. So inclusiveness also in the workplace, not only sustainability level, but also CSRD, all the inclusiveness and equality within the company. So we are taking all the steps to make it ready for future. That's also something new for me because really the pace of change and requirements are so demanding. You have to really be on your toes all the time.
You have to be a legal expert as well.
Yes, we have a separate department for that. Definitely, they are also educating me. They are educating me as well all the time because I said,
yeah. Because that's very regulatory matters are very demanding for a lot of companies.
Yeah. Sometimes, but I thought in overall Europe, these climate and topics are taking so much attention, but it can affect the business climate as well. So I always see that there should be a balance in between. Without the balance, because there is no level playing field in the whole world. So maybe that is one thing that we are trying to manage right now. Without losing our competitiveness, we have to adapt to these legal norms.
Yeah. And would you say it is off balance at the moment, or is the balance okay?
In general, what I know, I'm not an expert in US or China, of course, but in Europe, in general world, Europe is the front runner in these respects. So that's a little bit difficult for European companies to adapt all these things at the same time, compete with US and Chinese counterparts. That's I think the effect on the European economy. This doesn't mean that you should abandon it, but you cannot ignore the overall competitive landscape.
Oh. Yeah, well, good point, I think. And if you could name only one major goal that you have in mind for Ballast Nedam in the next coming years, what would be your main priority?
Well, main priority is to create the perfect mix of portfolio of projects in our heads. We are on that track, not there yet. We are creating. And being the employer of choice, so that we know people choose Ballast to work and to attract talent and increase operational excellence and to make sure our projects are healthy. Because when you get used to become successful for all of our people, that by itself motivates them for further. And when you have some problems in the company, some big projects with problems, it also drains energy. That I don't like. I want to make sure everybody enjoys their life, enjoys their projects, and that needs some operational excellence. So in the future, what we want to do is putting climate resilience in our core, creating new product market mixes, being employer of choice, and increasing operational efficiency are the main targets for me.
No, it's not quite one priority.
Okay.
It's maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But
then I think creating new product market mixes with the core of climate resilience will be the priority for me. Everything else will fit into their places.
Okay, so it's all a matter of balancing the different.
Yes.
Viewpoints, I think. We just drove by the Cartesius projects in Utrecht. What makes that an important project for Ballast Nedam?
We really it's a huge project. First of all, around 2,800 homes, a school, a central park, some commercial places, social housing. So we tried a lot to mix these things in the perfect way, so that people feel. The families feel much more healthy, with minimum stress, and they really want to live there. So it's a mix of different topics coming together, and it's not that easy to make all of them together. So we want to create this environment and change living experience of the families in Utrecht, and we are starting this year, and we want to achieve a different level of living environment, and with all the stakeholders we take our time to discuss a lot of topics, and that is why, and it's our own development project as well as construction project. That's why we are prioritizing this project in our portfolio.
Now we're heading back to the office, the end of this interview. And final question is about work-life balance, because you live here in the Netherlands, but your family is still in Turkey.
Yes, I prefer to work in sprints. All of my life worked like that. Construction is like that, and now my family is in Turkey. I stay here in 5 weeks and then go to Turkey for 1 week, and I try to balance this. When I'm there, I try to spend quality time with them, and I'm here, I try to focus more on my work. So construction sector is also works like that in sprints. Mm-hmm. So we cannot always keep our balance, but in average we try to bring it in an equal level. It's not that easy, of course, but I do my best. But it's part of the job. It's demanding. Also, in all of our international projects, people are making the sacrifice, so it's part of the job.
Part of the job to sacrifice.
Yes.
And, well, you do well.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. And we're back at Ballast headquarters. Thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
And see you next time.
See you next time. Thank you very much.